All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Negri Sports this wonderful Wednesday morning. Today, of course, is the 22nd day in the month of October 2025, and we're back again for the latest no sports stories from around the world. My name is OJ Matthew, wherever you're joining us from. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We have a whole lot of stories from the world of football for you, because a whole lot happened last night across Europe, talking about the UEFA Champions League. Harvest of goals we actually witnessed yesterday. So we have the details for you this morning concerning all that. All right, so just stick around for the very best of the latest from the FIFA Champions League, and we have stories from the home front for you, talking about Nigeria. The Flamingos will, of course, be fighting for redemption today. Yeah, redemption. Recall that Canada defeated them by 4 goals to 1 some days ago. So today they will try and redeem themselves. The coach apologizing to Nigerians that look, we'll have to redeem ourselves one more time for you guys to be happy. So we'll see how all these pans out. But in the meantime, let's quickly bring you up to speed with what is happening right here at home. Now, African Footballer of the Year winner Emmanuel Amunike has criticized the Nigerian Football Federation over the country's struggling youth program or football program, attributing recent failures to poor planning and political interference. The 1994 AFCON winner expressed disappointment at the NFF's approach to youth development, warning that the country's future in football is at risk if urgent action or actions are not taken. A nation that fails to develop its youth football is a failure. I don't know why they suddenly believe they will win because we have played. Because when you compromise hard work to prayer, then nothing will happen. Amunike said, and the former Barcelona forward insisted that while Nigeria still possesses quality young players, the lack of developmental efforts has become the major stumbling block. Amunike is no comment, come amid a worrying decline in Nigeria's youth football fortune across various age categories. The country's under-20 men's team, the Flying Eagles, failed to advance beyond the second round of the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Chile, a tournament eventually won by Morocco. At the ongoing FIFA Under Men's team, the Golden Eaglets will miss the 2026 FIFA Under-17 World Cup after losing to Ghana in the semi-finals of the 2025 Waffle B Cup. The ruled them out of next year's Under-17 AFCON in Morocco. In response to the mounting criticism, the Nigerian Football Federation President Ibrahim Gusso outlined a series of measures the Federation is set to implement to address the recent decline. Gusso expressed deep concern over Nigeria's disappointing results, but assured that there is hope for the future, revealing that the Federation is already putting structures in place to ensure a stronger pipeline of young talent. Of course, that is the situation. Developmental program when it comes to football is really poor, and Emmanuel Amunike, who has coached the under-17 and the under-20 national youth, knows what he is talking about. He knows what he is talking about, and the likes of Osimhen that we all are praising today are the product of this youth grade developmental programs when it comes to our football. So the Nigerian Football Federation need to do something really urgent to revive our youths, football in this country. And talking about club football right now, Kano Pillars have announced the appointment of Muhammad Baba Ganaru as acting technical advisor following the suspension of head coach Evans Ogenyi and his assistant Ahmed Garbayaru after a poor start to the 2025-2026 Nigeria Premier Football League season. Now, the club confirmed Baba Ganaru's return in an official statement on Tuesday, noting that he will assume duties immediately as the same Asugida look to steady their factoring campaign. The management of Kano Pillars FC wishes to announce the appointment of Mohamed Baba Ganaru as the acting technical advisor of the. He will resume with immediate effect. We wish Coach Baba Ganaru success in his new role as he leads the same Asugida in upcoming fixtures. Clubs Media and Communications Directorate stated, and Baba Ganaru, the former coach of the club who guided Pillars to 2 MPFL titles in 2011-2012 season and 2012-2013 during his previous stint, is expected to bring experience and stability to the struggling side. Pillars currently sit 18th on the table after 8 matches with only 2 wins, 2 draws, and 4 defeats. The poor run led to the dismissal of Ogenyi and Yaro on Monday after what the club described as unsatisfactory performances this season. In their last league outing, the Kano side suffered a 2-1 defeat to city rivals Barao FC in a closed-door derby at the Sani Abacha Stadium, a result that further deepened the crisis and triggered changes in the technical bench. The club had earlier appointed assistant coach Gambo Mohammed to take temporary charge, assisted by goalkeeping coach Suleiman Shaibu and junior team coach Ghazali Muhammad, pending the appointment of a substantive head coach. Baba Ganaru's appointment now signals a new direction as the 4-time MPFL champions seek to restore confidence and improve result on the pitch. Off the field, Pillars have also endured disciplinary setbacks. Earlier this month, the MPFL fined the club 9.5 million naira, deducted 3 points, and ordered them to play their home matches in Katsina following crowd trouble during a fixture against Shooting Stars. With 8 points from as many matches, Pillars' next task will be to host Niger Tornadoes in Katsina before traveling to Ikene to face beleaguered Remo Stars in a match that could define the start of Baba Ganaru's new tenure. Now, talking about Remo Stars, coach Thiago Conte, insists his side's CAF Champions League campaign is not over, despite humiliating 5-1 home defeat to South African giants Mamelodi Sundowns in Abeokuta on Sunday. Now, speaking after the match, Conte admitted that his players failed to execute the tactical plan, but maintained that a turnaround is still achievable in the return leg. Conte, however, praised his team's spirit despite the heavy loss and said the focus is now on correcting their errors ahead of the second leg in Pretoria. We are going to understand what went wrong both individually and collectively, correct those mistakes, and draw a plan for the next game. The difference of 4 goals is difficult, we know, but it's not impossible, he said. The coach also drew attention to the disparity in experience and resources between the clubs, noting that Remo Stars are still developing at this level of the competition. Despite acknowledging Sundown's superiority, Conde remains optimistic that Remo Stars can produce an improved performance in the reverse fixture. Now, Remo Stars will travel to Pretoria for the second leg on October 26th, needing a near-perfect performance to overturn their 4-goal deficit and keep their Champions League hopes really alive. Can that happen in South Africa? We'll find out. All right, nice, having you guys, joined me virtually this morning from wherever you are joining me from. I want to really appreciate you. And now let's talk about, the coach, the sport minister of South Africa. The sport minister of South Africa, I recall that recently he made a remarks concerning the Super Eagles of wishing Super Eagles of Nigeria bad luck, and former NFF president talking about Amaju Pinnick has condemned recent remarks by South Africa's Minister of Sports, Gayton McKenzie, describing them as careless and filled with hatred. Now, McKenzie had reportedly made comments perceived as mocking Nigeria's chances of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, reacting to the statement, Pinnick said, divine will, not political rhetorics, will determine Nigeria's qualification. Let me quote him. If it is the wish of God that Nigeria should qualify for the World Cup, the South African sports minister's careless statement cannot stop it from happening. Yes, that's what Pinnick said. Now, Pinnick expressed disappointment that a country as developed as and civilized as South Africa would have someone like McKenzie holding such an important office. He praised many South Africans as knowledgeable and passionate about football, contrasting them with the minister's attitude. He said it is unfortunate to have someone like McKenzie appointed as a minister. I know several people in South Africa who understand football deeply. I would never speak with such hatred, he added, addressing the controversy surrounding FIFA's deduction from Bafana Bafana. Pinnick noted that the South African Football Association, SAFA, had already accepted responsibility for the administrative error that led to the sanction. SAFA knows it was their mistake and have owned up to it. Why then should a sports minister decide to put the blame for consequences on Nigeria? He asked. Pinnick also reminded McKenzie that South Africa benefited indirectly from Nigeria's 2-0 victory, 4-0 victory over Benin Republic in Uyo, which kept the qualification race open. Now, he said he should be grateful to the Super Eagles. If Benin had drawn or won in New York, South Africa wouldn't even be in contention for the Group C qualification ticket. The former NFF boss concluded by recalling that Nigeria once suffered a similar fate in 2018 when points were deducted, yet the country refrained from blaming others. We were victims too, but we took responsibility rather than shifting blame. Pinnick ended with that reaction to, of course, the coach. And still talking about people reacting to the sports minister's recent actions concerning South Africa. The Confederation of African Football President, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, has, cautioned South Africa's Minister of Sports, Gayton McKenzie, against interfering in football matters following the minister's controversial correspondence with FIFA over the Teboho Mokoena points deduction saga. Motsepe, in a diplomatic yet a firm reminder, emphasized FIFA hands on government interference, noting that the autonomy of football institutions must always be respected. Football does not interfere in foreign matters. Likewise, government should not interfere in football matters. The CAF president, stated. The caution comes after Minister McKenzie wrote former letter to FIFA President Gianni Infantino and the South African Football Federation, SAFA, demanding a full explanation and accountability for the administrative blunder that saw Bafana dock 3 points in their World Cup qualifying campaign. The deduction followed the team's decision to field midfielder Teboho Mokoena, who was serving a suspension during the match against Lesotho, a costly oversight that nearly derailed South Africa's World Cup qualification hope. And accountability. Motsepe's comment suggests growing concern within the football community that such actions could cross regulatory lines. Sources close to CAF say Motsepe's warning served as a reminder of FIFA's zero-tolerance policy towards political involvement in football governance, a principle that has in past cases led to suspension of national associations and expulsion from international competitions. So Motsepe's intervention is seen as a move to protect South African football from potential sanctions that could jeopardize Bafana's World Cup aspirations. As tension eases, all eyes now turn to SAFA's internal review of the incident with hopes that administrative lessons will be learned without further fallout on the pitch or in the boardroom. You're listening live to Negri Sports right here on Negri 88.7 Breathing KD. Now, Nigeria's under 17 girls, the Flamingos, will be seeking redemption when they face France in their second Group D match at the FIFA under 17 World Cup in Morocco tonight. Now, following the disappointing 4-1 defeat to Canada in their opening fixture, now the West Africans endured a tough start and where defensive lapses cost them dearly, despite an energetic display that saw Queen Joseph score Nigeria's only goal with the loss of the table on 0 points and a -3 goal difference. Anything short of victory against France at 8 p.m. tonight could effectively end their campaign. So Wednesday's encounter carries extra significance as the last team both nations met at this level was 13 years ago in Azerbaijan, when Nigeria held France to a goalless draw in regulation time before losing 5-3 on penalties in the quarterfinals. So their opponents, France, arrive in a confident mood after a commanding 4-2 win over Samoa. Known for their fluid, attacking football and tactical discipline, the Europeans will be a stern test for coach Bankole Oluwokere's side, who must now balance defensive discipline with sharper attacking execution. Now, speaking to NFF media ahead of the game, Flamingos, captain Shakirat Moshood said the players have regrouped mentally and are determined to respond strongly. So we'll see what happens tonight. Let's see what happens tonight. So in the team's last training session, Oluwakere's focus on correcting the defensive lapses seen in their first game against Canada. Tactical drills cover defensive structure, corner kicks, organization, and overall game management. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on this morning as we'll be bringing you the latest from the UEFA Champions League. Yes, from the UEFA Champions League, Fermin Lopez, backed a hat-trick. And Marcus Rashford struck twice for Barcelona in the 6-1 demolition of Olympiacos yesterday to get the Catalan Giants back on track in their Champions League. So teenager Lemar, talking about Lamine Yamal, was also on target for Hansi Flick's side, who lost against holders Paris Saint-Germain in their previous European meeting in the league phase. So 6-1 Barcelona trashing Olympiacos yesterday, and Ousmane Dembele scored on his return from injury as defending champions PSG or Paris Saint-Germain trashed Bayern Leverkusen 7-2 in the Champions League on Tuesday, as both teams finished with 10 men. Ballon d'Or winner Dembele scored PSG's sixth just 3 minutes after coming on as a second-half substitute for his first appearance since suffering a hamstring injury in early September. Desire Dowie backed a brace while William Pacho, Victor, Nuno Mendes, and Vitinha also hit the net at Leverkusen's Bay Arena as the visitors laid down the gauntlet to their European rivals. And also, Arsenal produced a blistering second-half performance to overwhelm Atletico Madrid 4-0 at the Emirates Stadium on Tuesday night. The Gunners maintained their perfect start to the Champions League campaign and sealing the club's 100th win in the competition. Gabriel Martinelli's neat finish doubled the advantage before Victor Gyökeres got back on the goal trail to brace. So 4-0 it ended, I tell you, yesterday night. And Erling Haaland continued his superb scoring streak as Manchester City claimed a comfortable 2-0 win at Villarreal in the Champions League on Tuesday. Pep Guardiola's side stayed unbeaten in the league phase with their victory at, of course, Estadio de la Carimneca Stadium, secured by first-half goals from Haaland and then Bernardo Silva. And that's how it ended yesterday, 2-0 in favor of course, Manchester City. So let's quickly give you the comprehensive results right now. Barcelona 6, Olympiacos 1, Karat Amate 0, Bafos 0. Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0. Bayer Leverkusen 2, PSG 7. FC Copenhagen 2, Dortmund 4. Newcastle 3, Benfica 0. PSV 6, Napoli 2. Royal Union 0, Inter Milan 4. Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2. So today we'll be having some interesting fixtures. Let's quickly look at those fixtures for you. Okay, Athletic Bilbao will be hosting Qarabag, And the match will be coming up at 5:45 Nigerian time. 5:45 Nigerian time. And Galatasaray versus Budo Clint also comes up at 5:45 Nigerian time. And Atalanta versus Slavia Prague comes up at 8 o'clock Nigerian time. Bayern Munich will be hosting Club Brugge. Club Brugge at 8 o'clock also. And the big one coming up is the matchup between Chelsea versus Ajax. Yes, Chelsea versus Ajax coming up tonight. Okay, and Eintracht Frankfurt will be hosting Liverpool. Eintracht Frankfurt will be hosting Liverpool. And Monaco versus Tottenham is another game that everyone will be looking forward to. And the big one also tonight is Real Madrid versus Juventus. Real Madrid versus Juventus. And not forgetting Sporting CP versus Marseille. So one more time, Athletic Bilbao versus Qarabag, Galatasaray versus Bodo Clint, Atlanta versus Slavia Prague, Bayern Munich versus Club Brugge, Chelsea versus Ajax, Frankfurt versus Liverpool, Monaco versus Tottenham, Real Madrid versus Juventus, and Sporting versus Marseille. Those are the fixtures coming up tonight in the UEFA Champions League. And I want to say on this note, we've come to the end of this edition of the sports show this morning on Nagari FM. My name is OJ Matthew, and I want to wish everyone who listened from wherever around the world this morning. Let's do it again, same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock, okay, same time right here on Nagari FM 88.7. Yes, coming up next is the newspaper review. So stay tuned. Thank you guys. Please subscribe. To the channel. Subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. God bless you. See you soon in the next video.